The only one said I never let a radio's badass in the building today. I'm feeling so good. I got my boy with me, Barry Media. Unrestricted Podcast is going down today. He has his special guest. I have my special guest, Tasha and Tomi from the Issues Real podcast. This is going to be a very exciting episode tonight. We got so many things that we want to touch up on, and these divas have so many things that they have going on that just needed to be spotlighted. And you know, that's what we do over here at Blue Spotlight Radio. So there are so many topics. I usually do, when I was on other radio platforms, what I was doing was my own 30-minute to hour segment where I just talk. Now that I've branched out on my own by the grace of God and my good friend at Barry Media, we have branched out on our own, so the format is changing. So definitely going to be incorporating my topics in, but also having interviews, just as much interviews as topics. So don't think the topics have gone away, because they have not. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about recently is Nick Cannon.
Uh-oh.
My boy say, damn, Nick. I mean, I feel so many different type of ways about this situation.
I got to put on the headphones for this.
Oh, damn, he got the headphones on, and I appreciate that, because sometimes what I like to say is my views and your views are not facts. They are just opinions. Mm-hmm. But not everyone is understanding of that, and some people look at it like you said, and you think it's a fact, and it is what it is. But my stance on Nick Cannon is, no, I'm not going to sit up here and say that how he went about trying to educate the black community and even, the white community was right. I'm not going to sit here and say everything that he said about white people was politically correct. I'm not going to sit up there and be that person. What I will say is I feel like the world and the industry alone is very biased, because you have talk show hosts like Tomi Lahren, if I'm saying her name correct, that goes on rants and raves all the time. I even had to, she don't even know me, and I had to block her on Twitter because she says like bluntly racist stuff. Damn. And she doesn't even apologize for it. Like, one of the things that she said that a lot of black people didn't like was when LeBron was talking about the Black Lives, movement, the mm-hmm. Black Lives Matter movement, and she told him to shut up and dribble.
Oh, that's the chick.
That's her.
Okay, I remember seeing something on Twitter about that, but I didn't know the details. Okay, that's her.
That's her. And she says, she says more things. And this is a real touchy topic. I don't like talking about it, but I had people like her, and there's not just her, it's other people that have said racist things on their platform, and they get a slap on the wrist, they get vacation time, they still get paid. And I don't feel like, although I might not agree with everything Nick was saying, I don't feel like he deserved to have his show snatched from him. I don't think that's fair. And who's to say the world is fair, but do the man really deserve to have his show, his network snatched from him, from Viacom? Do you think that's like, what are we teaching people? Like, you can say this on your platform, and then when he said it, check this out. When she says things on her platform, she's on the news platform that's actually paying her bills. I don't see why it...
What station or what network she work with?
I don't know, and we won't get into detail on that. If you know her, then you know what news network she works for. Okay. I'm saying people know, people know of her. So, but I'm saying this was a personal podcast that Nick said his thoughts and opinions on. Mm-hmm. And so you mean to tell me that has something to do with wilding out? Like, he deserved to get his whole entire network snatched from him because of what he said on his personal podcast?
Well, I tell you this much. That's the way any job works. Because think about it, like, I'm not justifying it, but like all of these companies do that. Like, for example, like I've seen cases on the news where, and I'm not talking about celebrities, I'm just talking about regular average Joes like us, where it's caught that someone was doing something that they had no business doing. It gets back to their job. Let's say they work at, Walmart or whatever, and the company lets them go. For example, that's just like with I'm trying to think of a case, because so much stuff's been going on since 2020, but like the cases of like the so-called like Karens, going off on black people, and it's recorded, and then they find out, okay, who that person really is, and it gets back to their job fires me, even though that incident had nothing to do with their job, nothing to do with their job performance, because take it from me, someone who's worked in all kind of different job stuff, when you start a job, I don't care if you're a cashier at Walmart or you working in, corporate America for banks or whatever, when you sign your paperwork and stuff in orientation, that's basically saying that in so many words that, hey, if you're caught doing something that's going to make the company look bad, even on your own personal time, then, especially if it's in an at-will state like Texas, for example, we could get rid of you. I'm not saying that that's right, but I'm just saying that's the way it is, And you think about it, too, like, I've heard mixed things. I'm a big fan of Vlad TV. And Nick is like a regular guest on Vlad. I remember watching an episode where Nick, I believe he basically said that he owns the majority of the Wild 'N Out brand, while Viacom CBS is the distributor, because Nick was talking about branching Wild 'N Out to different things, like making comedy clubs across the country. He said that LA was going to be a spot, Miami was going to be a spot. Those two were definite, and then maybe Atlanta. So depending on how much of the Wild 'N Out brand he owns, he may just take that somewhere else, because what's from stopping putting Wild 'N Out on YouTube?
I mean, Revolt, Revolt wants to pick him up.
Diddy's
that. Revolt.
Okay, or him just starting his own network from the ground up, and having Wild 'N Out there, So it's like, I mean, Nick, and that's another thing too. Like if you watch his interviews on Vlad TV, the dude is a highly intelligent, highly successful businessman. He does so much shit. Excuse my French. He does so much stuff behind the scenes that we don't even think about. Like, we just know him being goofy Nick on Wild 'N Out. Maybe occasionally he does a movie or two or a CD. But he has so many entrepreneur things.
He's a boss of all bosses.
The whole Wild 'N Out thing being pulled, that probably sting him a little bit, but it's not gonna affect his bank account.
But let's be real. We talking about my main point in bringing this up was not to say that if I start a job, that what I say I have to take into consideration that I work at this company and my stuff might be pulled, or I could be fired because I'm making the company look bad. We got to keep it real. No beating around the bush and fake shit. Like, they don't do that to other races that talk shit about black people and say how they feel. They get a slap on the wrist. They get time paid off, just like with the cop killings. They're quick to arrest protesters, but they letting the cop killer still that killed Breonna Taylor still they're still at large. They still don't. Yeah, so they make a difference. They make a difference when it comes to black people. Like, Nick Cannon is not the only one using his platform to say messed up shit right now. I mean, times is sensitive, and so you can get on someone's bad side anyway. Someone said Nick has been speaking out on a lot of social issues as of late. Yeah. Let's be real. These people are looking to hurt those who have platforms and can tell the truth on how they act now and their past. And I do believe that. And then he had been a target anyway since Dr. Sebi. Since he wanted to do the documentary. And
he was going to, someone had already started a documentary. Yeah, and he was going to try and take it over. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Well, he's still in the process. I looked somewhere, he had a trailer up already.
Okay, I missed that. But, old boy from LA, he started the Dr. Sebi documentary.
Nipsey?
Yeah, Nipsey Hussle. Yeah, he started, and Nick was talking about taking it over, trying to get the right so he can finish it.
Yeah, he has. I mean, well, he's in the process. We don't know, exactly what's going on right now, but I do think this is deeper than him just saying something and pissing some people off. I feel like he's a target right now. And like Corey was saying...
I mean, he did... I mean, he did say some... He said some... Ooh, because I actually watched it, and I was like, wow.
I mean, I watched it too. It's some stuff that could have not been said.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
I feel like
I
feel like this. When y'all have platforms, these big people, and y'all become like super celebrities. I said super celebrities, like y'all are. Start having shit like meetings at y'all house and stuff. Everything ain't for social media because
Man, me and a friend was talking about that today.
I'm gonna have some shit at my house, conspiracy meetings and all that.
That's just like you and I, for example. we don't, you and I, we have our political views, we have our views on conspiracy stuff, but we don't air all of that shit out on our social media.
No, we don't.
If I'm lying, stop me and tell me I'm lying. I may see something on the news, and what I'll do, I'll text you, hey, are you busy? I gotta talk to you. Oh, this, that, and the other. This, that with the mayor. This, that with the firefighters. Whatever. Same thing with you. If you see something, I'm not gonna put too much of my political stance or my views on this, that, and the other out there in the open, because it's for a lot of people, man. It's hunting season. It's
Ooh, you know what? On top of cancel culture,
yes,
they trying to. It's getting to the point where I was reading shit behind the scenes because I'm always reading stuff. And Twitter, you can get in trouble for retweeting something, not a tweet that you even tweeted, but like just retweeting somebody else's stuff. You can get in trouble, and they can shut your account down. I got a violation from Twitter, and I'm still waiting to see who the hell reported my page and what the hell I said. Because if I told the truth, if I told y'all my conspiracies, all the stuff that I be thinking, then I would probably be banned on social media because I have very strong views. But I talk to my friends, and I feel like I really do feel like while I don't agree with everything Nick said, I do feel like he does not deserve to have his show ripped from him. And so let's talk about this. It's not only Nick Cannon, right? It's athletes. So recently, a couple of football players, but one recently came under fire because he was tweeting stuff, political stuff about Indians, white people, black people. And he got in trouble. And so it's like, I feel like, what good is it to get all these millions of dollars and become like a really big social media presence, and you can't say the truth? You can't talk the truth. Why the fuck can I say the real shit? Like, why I gotta be fake about some shit because I'm a celebrity? Like, what the fuck are y'all into behind the scenes that y'all can't say shit? Come on, you know what I'm saying? What is this really about? Like, I become a millionaire and I lose my voice. I can't talk about shit that's real. Like, really?
Kind of, sort of, because when especially when it comes to athletes are the product of that organization, whether if it's the NFL, NBA, whatever. Again, that's all paperwork that they sign. So everything that they do, they're monitored and critiqued. I mean, think about the guy that got in trouble. He used to play for the Giants. I can't think of the dude's name. He's the dude that did that famous catch with the one hand. He had the black guy. He got the blonde hair. Now he's with the Browns.
You're talking about not.
He did that famous one-handed catch and he played for the Giants. Doggone it! I'm trying to do this without.
Odell.
Yeah, Odell Beckham. Okay, so Odell was with the Giants. He got famed for that catch. And plus, his numbers and stuff are good. But then when he started partying and he was on the yachts with the women and stuff, and like the team told him, like, hey, dude, you need to chill out on that. That's not the image we want to. Okay. Even though he was on his off time, but that's just the way. I'm not saying this right. I'm not justifying, but that's just the way it is. And I think that's why a lot of celebrities, whether they're athletes or in entertainment or whatever, it's like the only time you see or hear about them is when they're doing something. You know what I mean? Like, far as like a movie or during the sports season.
Exactly.
And then, because think about it, like one of my favorite guys, the Dallas Mavericks, Dirk Nowitzki. You never heard anything about Dirk outside the court, other than the fact that he's married to a black woman. That was it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he plays. The Mavericks won that championship in 2019. Celebrated. Everybody know the dude's real tall. He's from Germany or whatever. That was it. Because Dirk knows, like, okay, I got, coming from Germany where basketball and sports isn't as glorified as it is here in the U.S., he probably don't want to do anything to fuck that up. You know what I mean? And get, and say or do something. It's like, hey, I'm just going to play basketball. I'm going to do some charity here and there. And I'm going to take my paycheck from Mark Cuban and take my ass to my mansion in Preston Heights, which is 2 blocks down from Mark Cuban's house.
I get it. I totally get it. But I still, at the end of the day, I feel like, don't be biased. Like, I'm okay with him being suspended, maybe. I'm okay with the public apology, but you done took this man, or you trying to take this man whole entire franchise. Like, let's just be real. Who's going to watch Wildin' Out without Nick Cannon?
Well, it depends. It depends. I mean, well, this is the thing. There's so much about it we don't know yet because, number one, Nick Cannon has his own entertainment company called Incredible. Mm-hmm. Okay. Number two, if Nick Cannon was telling the truth and if he's right on that Vlad TV interview where he owns the majority of the Wildin' Out brand, then there's only so much Viacom CBS can do without his consent unless they buy him out wholeheartedly. You know what I mean? So, and if you're Viacom CBS at the end of the day, if I would look at the numbers of Wildin' Out, especially like the the newer episodes, it may be in CBS's best interest just to go ahead and let them have it because depending on the ratings, like okay, we got this show, this show, this show. If Wildin' Out is actually, let's say, the 5th highest program, they're not the 1st or the 5th. I'm just saying, what if there's like, you know what? Let's just let him have it. You know what I mean? It's like he want to do something else with, fine, whatever. We don't want that image for our network, or whatever. But then if Wildin' Out is like the 2nd or 1st highest rated program, it's like shit. Let's offer Nick $100 million or whatever to buy him out completely,
right.
And then we can do whatever we want with Wilder, get a new host to do whatever. You know what I mean? So it depends. I think it's going to be interesting development.
It's going to be interesting, but I still say just be fair. Don't be biased. It's a lot of people that's being racist right now and saying stuff that's like we've had to deal with and grind our teeth and be like, they still on the news or they still on TV and can say that, and I just feel like it's a bit extreme. I do feel like it's sensitive times and we all have to be careful about what we put out in the universe. That's why I stopped cussing people out on Twitter. Because I was cussing their ass out, like I was giving it to them, like for real, serving it up. But some people just bluntly racist for no reason, and I can't help you, boo, if you don't like me for the color of my skin and my race that I didn't choose. But if I could choose, I still choose to be black, boo. So you got to get that hate out your heart. You know what I'm saying? Like you hating on the next person because they black or they white. That's so childish. And I still feel like racism is taught in your house because growing up, we all played with white kids and black kids, played with Indians. I had friends of all type of different races, and I grew up in the suburbs too. I never had a parent say, "Oh, you can't play with my son because he's white," or "They can't come over here, Helen, because they not black." My parents never did that. That's something though that's taught. You teach your kids. You allow them to watch stuff like that influences them to not like other races, and it's sad. And I don't like any part of racism. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just about being fair. And I'm just saying. The same, if it don't make an example, I feel like they're making an example out of Nick, okay? But I feel like they're making the example out of Nick to scare black people to be quiet on your platform. Be careful with you being a celebrity and saying what you want and influencing the masses, because there are a lot of white hosts, TV hosts that has said some things that make my skin crawl, and I'm like, they are still on TV or they get paid leave, vacation, and they come back to their job. That's just not cool. So you're saying that these group of people can say this how they feel and it's no consequences, but Nick Cannon, who is a black man, can't say this, and this is going to be an extreme consequence for him, and it's really an extreme consequence for all black people, letting us know, shut the hell up, stop talking, be quiet. I mean, that's the only thing that I can get out of that. Because a lot of people are saying racist stuff, so I don't be looking at shit like, it ain't no middle with me. Like, it is what it is. Like, it's this or is that. And I have, Corey said, freedom of speech is not free. Plus, the NFL and NBA, MLB feel like they own you. So they can tell you what to say because they give you that platform as long as you say what they want you to. And that's facts. You know what?
A perfect example with that, and not trying to change the subject.
What?
I don't know if you follow baseball, but when it was found out that the Astros had that cheating scandal, right? So basically what MLB did, they made the Astros, well, not all of them, but like the signature players like Altuve and Verlander and like a couple of other guys, like the faces of the team, they made them go out and apologize. And I kid you not, if you look up that video, me and my friends were talking about like they got on the news and they were just kind of rolling as like, yeah, we apologize for sign stealing. It was like they were forced to do it, but I guess they say, well, hey, we got to go. You know, we want to keep getting our checks. We don't want to be suspended. We'll go and apologize for quote unquote cheating, but we ain't gotta say the shit like we mean it. And that's just what the Astros did. Like, man, you should have saw that shit. Damn. It's like, what a funny, if anyone out there listening, Google like Astros apology. You'll see all these guys. It look like something from SNL. Just like, yeah, we did it. Sorry, and we want to make the sport great. I know in the back of the head, it's like, shit, we still got this ring, motherfucker. You know what I mean? We still got that pennant at the Minute Maid Park or whatever, you know? Damn, so, yeah. But that's the case. That's a prime example of what your viewer said there. Like, hey, they going to make you do stuff. And they'll make you say stuff, you know?
Damn. So you think that it really is just about your platform. But do you also see... I say that because... Do you also see what I'm saying in regards to it being... them not needing to be biased though? Like, make the same rules apply to everyone. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people that's being racist right now, not just Nick Cannon. So don't turn a blind eye to just Nick Cannon. Maybe if you did Nick Cannon, maybe if they did everyone else like they're doing Nick Cannon, it would stop with a lot of racist things going on and being said. How about that? Instead of just making this guy out of the example. You see what I'm saying? Well, one rule that applies for one should apply for all.
Yeah.
It's a lot of bias. But I tell you what, y'all better be careful on these podcasts. Because people watching.
I mean, just what you say on the internet.
Yeah, be careful what you say. It's like I feel like we don't have a freedom of speech anymore. I'm not saying you're supposed to just be able to just fly off the handle and just say shit that, hurtful things, but you should be able to speak your opinion, but just be careful, you guys, speaking your opinion, especially for my people that's doing podcasts and online radio, because you never know who you could offend, and if you are going to say something messed up, clean it up a little bit, because that's some messed up shit.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. It's and I tell you what too, like just individuals, because I'm a buddy of mine. She's in a whole bunch of like modeling and cosplay groups on Facebook that are predominantly, full of like, people African American, and she was telling me that like a lot of people that post in those groups that don't agree with the masses, they've people in the comments are like, oh, I'm going to find out where this person works at so I can send it to their job. And I've actually had that happen to a buddy of mine. I don't want to say his name, but I remember a good buddy of mine. I'll tell you off air, but he did a post making fun of, there was that video that came out where it's like this transsexual, male to female transsexual was in a store buying something, and somebody called them sir, and it's like, oh, I'm a ma'am. You remember that video that kind of went viral where the transsexual person's like, I'm a ma'am, you're gonna call me a ma'am.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That one.
So anyway, the dude I know was on his page, his personal Facebook page, talking about how he doesn't care what a person identifies himself. He's gonna say what they, however they were born,
Oh.
So that made a lot of people mad. And so this one chick was like, she actually threatened, because, and it's again, people need to stop posting everything on their damn social media where you work at and all that. She threatened, because on his social media, he got put up where he worked and how many years he's worked there. He got pictures with his work crew. She threatened to take a screenshot of all that shit and send it to his job that he's been on for, God, he's been working for his job for 10 years, and he's like a supervisor now, and he got good benefits and all that. And, I told him, privately on the phone, I'm like, dude, number one, stop, like we said earlier at the very beginning of this, stop putting all of your opinions on social media, number one. Number two, just because social media asks you where you work, don't mean you have to fill that shit out. Don't let people know, regardless of if you're, trying to do something like in my case with me being a photographer and now a podcaster, a radio co-host, whatever, it's like, even before that, it's like, I don't want everybody to know where the hell I work at for what? Because all people gonna do is get too much in your business. Like, how much they pay, how much you get paid. Like, they ain't none of your goddamn business, you know. But that's a whole other story. But it's like I was like, man, I told him straight up, you know me, I'm blunt. I was like, man, that's what you deserve. Because granted, I'm not saying that his opinion was wrong or right, but it's like, dude, why the fuck you talking about? I mean, granted, it's your Facebook page. Yeah, you pay your internet bill, you pay your cell phone bill. You could technically talk about what you want to talk about, but you technically at the same time can't either. You know what I mean?
Unfortunately.
You know, before someone like her, you know, like that chick threatened to, you know, and for what she said, she had already took the screenshots, and if he didn't apologize or take it down, then she was going to send it off to his job.
Cause havoc. And see, you know what? That's why I think when I used to work in social media, I say in social media, god damn it. When I used to work, greetings from Germany. Oh, we got somebody from Germany watching us. Bless you.
Oh, shit.
Bless you. When I used to work in corporate, I used to hate when people asked me what my name was on social media. I would be like, why? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I would have like 2 people on my page from the job, and then I would delete them. I would block them, and then look, we would go to work, and they would be like, I saw you block me on social media. And I was like, I did. I just feel like we're friends at work, not outside of work.
Yep.
And how I act outside of work, I ain't got shit to do with how I'm at work. Because from 9 to 5, I got to be extremely professional. You know what I'm saying? That's that side. And then when I clock out, I do me all day long. And I don't want to have to explain if you see me, you know, with my liquor in my hand or whatever the hell, you know. But I totally agree. Unfortunately, you have to be careful with social media and especially even with Twitter. Like I said, when they start to censor the president of the United States and take his tweets away, you can't just be out here saying whatever the hell you want to say, y'all. You know.
Yeah.
Come on.
You're right. It's
a president, regardless of how he likes or not, and he can't even just go off on the handle and tweet. So, just be careful with y'all platforms, for real.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Be careful with your platforms, man. So, look, check it out. Tonight, I have the bosses of all bosses, Tasha and Tanya from the It's Just Real podcast. They are going to be joining me at 8 p.m. to talk about their up-and-coming projects, everything they have going on. And we're going to be talking about this Nick Cannon situation because I told you my side and how I feel. But I want to know what they feel because they are in the celebrity realm, like for real, and they're around this, you know. So they can give a better insight and maybe explain why it is important to protect your platform, but not be careful and mindful of what you say. But like I said, I'm not in agreement with everything Nick said, but I do feel like I just want to see fairness. That's all. I want to see everyone that's saying messed up stuff on platforms about black people as well. I want to see them taken off the network, and I don't see that happening. So let's not make an example out of one and then let the other one slide. That's not cool. Racism is not cool, any form or fashion of it. I do not like it at all. Just like I don't like bullies, I don't like racism. So I think that's important to put out there. You know, like I'm just all for keeping it real and being 100 and fair with everyone. What rule applies to one should apply to all. And I wish Nick Cannon the best of luck, and let's see if Diddy will pick him up by revoke. But look, in a perfect world, right, I would like to see him and Viacom come together in agreement that this won't be said again, and maybe understand where both parties are coming from and still see him do a show on their platform. That's what I would like, because we are going to disagree with each other in the world, and I want people to understand that we are not going to fit